Hi guys, this is Tarmo speaking.
Hello guys, I am Martin and co-founder of SmartCredit.io. We are here in Zurich, in the heart of one of the biggest financial centers in the old town, and we will speak today about the credit and credit money.
Martin, how does world credit system work currently?
Okay, it's actually a pretty simple system, but it's made a very highly complex, so that's difficult to understand, but let's explain it in this way. On one side we have central banks, they're creating the base money, and they try to then control the speed of the monetary expansion. From other side we have commercial banks, and the commercial banks are creating the credit money.
And what is the exact role of central banks in the system?
Okay, central banks are then there, they're there in practically every country, so to create the base money. These are the coins and electronic base money. In parallel, the central banks, what they're trying to do is to control the speed of a credit money creation. The credit money is then created from commercial banks. This kind of 90 to 97% of a total money. The base money itself is like a 3 to 7% of a total money that we have. It's depending by the economy. And what central banks are then trying to do is just to manage this system.
And how successful are central banks in controlling the growth speed of credit money?
Okay, now that's a point of view whom you ask. If you ask the central bank guys, there are many of them, then they will tell you obviously that they are very successful. Now my comment on this is, economy is a living system, and to control living system from a part of a living system is quite difficult. So, and we see that the credit money growth has been actually the cause of most of economical crises, like this crisis in Russia economical crisis or Asia economical crisis, others. Now, if credit money is growing too fast, there will be as well a phase when the credit money will decline, and the decline will be a recession. So, obviously, commercial central banks are saying that they're doing a perfect job. Now, yes, well, the different views about this.
Okay, let central banks into peace, and but you speak about credit money, and you speak about credit. What is difference between these two?
Okay, credit is so that everyone can give a credit to everyone. It's a basic right, it's a basic law. I can give a credit to everyone. Now, but the credit is becoming a credit money if my counterparty is giving me a claim, I'm a lender, and I can use this claim as a means to pay next persons. And that was the way how earlier monetary systems worked. Practically, the credit money was created decentrally, it was created peer-to-peer, and there was a base money. The base money was then created by kings or sovereigns, so every king had their own base money. And at the top of the base money there was a credit money, which was created from people to people.
And concerning credit money, the amount of credit money, why is amount of credit money important?
Okay, we have a base money. Let's say this is what the central banks are creating. Now, but the economy is like a growing, like it's like a living organism. If a living organism is bigger, organism needs more blood in his body. If a living organism is smaller, then he needs less blood. And the credit is like a blood in human's body, in organism's body. If there's a fast economical growth, we need automatically more credit. If there's a low economical growth, we need less credit. So this problem cannot be solved with a base money only. This problem has to be solved with a credit money. And that's why the credit money is very important for the economical development. If there is no credit money, if there is only a base money, then probably it will end up in a deflationary economy, because the price of money will be too high for the fast growth phases. So, okay, that's the reason for the credit money.
I see. But in today's world, we have commercial banks and we have central banks. Commercial banks, when did they emerge actually?
Okay, people are thinking that the commercial banks have been there forever. Actually, it's not so. The commercial banks started to emerge like 350 years ago. The first central bank was created in Sweden. It was around 1660s. The second one was created in London around the same time. And then the first commercial banks, Netherlandish Wechsel- and Handelsbanken, I think it was created as well, 1600 something. And the role of this bank, of the Netherlandish Handels- and Wechselbank, it was to trade the vexels, because the peer-to-peer money creation this time was based on the vexel. In English, it's a bill of exchange system. And that's where the first commercial bank was created. However, the economy worked as well before, and pretty nicely, before the commercial banks were created.
And how did it work then, before?
So, the commercial banks, they came 350 years ago, but the peer-to-peer credit systems and the credit money systems were there already like 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia. They were there in Phoenicia like 3,000, 2,500 years ago. They were using Islamic trading network. They were using Mediterranean trading network. They were using Hanseatic trading network. So peer-to-peer credit money has always been there in the human history. And the interesting is that the peer-to-peer credit money, which is actually 5,000 years old, is older than the coin-based money, which was then created by Greeks, by Romans, as well by Chinese and Indian civilizations around the same time, like 2,500 years ago. So the peer-to-peer credit money is older. And okay, your question was, how did the economy then work before? It was a pretty prosperous economy. We know European Renaissance, we know how good the Hanseatic network developed, how good the Mediterranean network developed. We know as well a lot about Phoenicia, how strong was their economical system, the Mesopotamia, the very old culture. So this was the basis of pretty nice economical developments.
But if all the economy worked without commercial banks, why did these commercial banks emerge actually?
Okay, the commercial banks initially, when they emerged 350 years ago, then one of the key reasons was that the peer-to-peer money system, it had some shortcomings. And the shortcomings were the following. Let's say we use these vexels, okay, in English, bills of exchange, but bills of exchange have different loan tenors. So one can have 1 week, one can have 1 month, one can have 1 quarter. As well, they had different nominations. So it's not so as it was a standard money like we have today, that we have like standard units. The units were arbitrary this time, and as well the loan tenors were arbitrary this time. So, and the commercial banks, they were like a marketplace, then to exchange these different loan tenors, to exchange these different nominations, let's say 1 gulden in Holland, 5 guldens or 99 guldens. That was the initial role of Netherlands, Dutch and Netherlands, Handels and Wechselbanken. Yes.
And what happened after that?
Okay, after that, it was initially it was created by the Wechsel. The banks were created to, commercial banks were created to enable the Wechsel systems. And then it emerged, and it developed so that the commercial banks started to issue their own fiat money, their own credit money. So it wasn't anymore the peer-to-peer credit money, but the commercial banks took over. However, these commercial banks taking over is very much connected with the electronic money. Now, if you have the older systems, if you go even back like 50 years ago or like 100 years ago, the peer-to-peer systems, the peer-to-peer credit money systems, they were still used, but the more and more the electronic money has appeared, the less the peer-to-peer credit money systems have been used. So that means the credit business is consolidated in the commercial banks.
Mm-hmm. So you imply somehow that all this central credit money system, it emerged as a result of standardization.
Oh, yes, it emerged as a way of a scale effects. Okay, from one side we had this Wechsel system with the limitations, which by the way can be solved very easily with the blockchain systems. And from other side, the commercial banks, they had the scale effects. it was just a scale effects, and it was an effects of a transaction cost. They were able to to process the credit and the credit money creation much easier than the peer-to-peer systems, and that's why the commercial banks emerged in this way as they are. They just did this in a more effective way.
And what if there is somehow another way to achieve this standardization? You mentioned blockchain and yeah.
Okay, if you're looking back, okay, there are always these two competing systems. One is the system, the peer-to-peer systems, and
decentral credit system.
Decentral credit systems, and the other is then the central credit system, like it is today by the commercial banks now. In the current commercial banks-based credit system, they are more effective just to credit. Okay, it's a scale effect, they have advantage in processing the information, the transaction costs are lower. However, if you are now adding blockchain technologies, then this will enable the peer-to-peer credit networks and the credit money networks much stronger. It will give the same information to every participant, and it will enable this alternative monetary system, which has been there much longer than the coin-based money.
And does it mean that with blockchain technology, basically we can bring more emphasis again on decentral credit money system?
Exactly, blockchain will be enabler for the peer-to-peer decentral credit money system. It takes away the advantage of commercial banks, which advantage is being the scale effect and the lower transaction cost. This advantage is taken away. Commercial banks as disintermediaries, probably they're not so much required as they are now. So, and the peer-to-peer, the credit can be created in a peer-to-peer way, and the credit money can be created in a peer-to-peer way, in the same way as it was in the past history.
Are you saying that we go back to decentral future, like we had decentral past?
Okay, the human history has been very much decentralization fight with the centralization fight. There have been cultures which have been more decentral, and there have been cultures which are more central. Now, the central cultures, they are then trying to control more things. The decentral culture, it's, let's say, cultures where the degree of freedom is higher. So, now, and there's always this question how you process the information. Now, if you are processing information in a central way, like commercial banks are doing, they have an advantage. But thanks to the blockchain technologies, we can now go again in this decentral route. We can start going more and more into decentral systems, meaning the degree of centralization of big organizations will go down. So.
Thank you, Martin. Really interesting. Very interesting.
So, thank you.